So, you like polymers? Cool. I brought a red dot if you're into that kind of thing.
Ever have a date like this? What the f? You know that feeling when you look at something and just feel absolutely nothing? No spark, no butterflies, just pure unadulterated meh. That was my exact reaction when I first opened the box for the Ruger RXM. I honestly considered having a friend call me with a fake emergency 5 minutes into the unboxing, just so I could bail.
What? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I have to go. It's an emergency. My dog farted. I'll text you.
Here's the crazy part. I took this boring, unassuming piece of polymer to the range and I realized something. Maybe it doesn't need to be love at first sight. It quietly fixes almost every single annoying problem that the so-called perfection brand has been ignoring for decades while they waffle back and forth on finger grooves. And if you want to know exactly what those problems are, you're in the right place. And by the way, if you enjoy videos of average dudes getting their minds blown by boring guns and feel like I deserved it, and you want to see more of this in the future, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. Let's be honest, the striker-fired market is dominated by a certain Austrian elephant in the room. We all know him and we all probably own 1 or 5. And we all spend hundreds of extra dollars fixing the things they refuse to update. So what are the problems? As I see it, the main things that people change are grip angle, trigger guard and frame, sights, modularity, optic mounting, and hidden costs. Ruger apparently sat in the back of the class, took notes on all of our complaints, and built the RXM using Gen 3 compatible parts. Now let's talk about my experience with the RXM and how Ruger did.
Took a year off, had to handle life first, but the itch came back, now the hunger feel worse. Every day I scroll, see the fakes in my lane, talking like they really know, never held what they claim. I built this brick by brick, frame by frame, dangerous freedom, put respect on the name. They tried to count me out, tried to say I was dumb, but I don't run from recoil, I lean in and have fun. Guess who's back? Fatty's back, dangerous freedom on the tag, yeah that's that. Been a long year, but the drill's on track. Hit the bell, tell a friend, yeah your boy Sean's back. Guess who's back? Fatty's back, line them up on the bench, watch the feedback. If you miss real talk, you can relax. Dangerous freedom in your feed, yeah your boy Sean's back. I don't flex for the gram, I just speak what I know. From the safe to the range, from the case to the show.
First is the grip angle and comfort. And look, I know we all get wound up about this, but it's true. Lots of people, me included, have a natural point of aim with the 1911 grip angle. I get it. You shoot your Glock perfectly and never had to hunt for your dot after pressing out. Right. But for real, some people do, that's fine. Own your deformity. Left-handed people do. Now explain why there's an entire aftermarket for grip angle adjustments on your precious perfection, as well as a bunch of companies that improve on it in other ways. That's what I thought. The trigger guard area is lightly undercut and set back into the grip by default so you can get a nice grip there. Unless you have torta hands, which I don't know, then you may love it. The magazine release is big enough to be able to hit, but my thumb did slide off of it a couple times. Neither the slide release or the mag release are ambi, so lefties, get out. I'm surprised, but it is what it is. The mag well is lightly flared and surprisingly effective at guiding the magazine in, and there is a recess on the back so you can rip the magazine out if it jams. Additionally, there's a light outer swell at the bottom that keeps your fat hand from getting pinched when you change mags. It's well designed and included on the Magpul frames, and yeah, you heard me. Ruger teamed up with Magpul and collaborated on the frame, and word on the street is Magpul knows polymer. The grip has a good sheen, and it feels tough but not brittle, and it's basically the same material that your PMags are made from. I know sheen is a weird word and is how overseas customer service reps pronounce my name. Okay, Mr. Sheen, we get you fixed right up. The other Ruger handgun frames have a weird, almost oily surface that can be slippery and just doesn't feel right. For example, on this Ruger America. Thank God it's not a SIG. The Magpul is pretty good though, besides being kind of boring. The ergonomics on the frame are fine and really solve most of the things that people modify on Glock handguns. There are textured areas for indexing your thumb and trigger finger and extended beaver tail for those with beefy hands. My main complaint with the frame is that the texture isn't as aggressive as I would prefer. I admit that that's my personal preference, and honestly, a lot of people would complain about it if it was any rowdier. Ruger and Magpul probably did the right thing here. Overall, not my favorite, but the boring design is likely going to appeal to most shooters. It's the Clark Kent of handguns, boring suit and defeated by green meteors. whatever, you get it. Ruger and Magpul made a single slot pick rail to mount your light to. I wish they'd added a full pick rail there, but you know, what can you do? Last on the improvements list is the sights, and man, Glock sights suck so much. The plastic trash they put on there is awful. Functional? Yes, kind of. Good? No, man. The RXM has metal suppressor height, high-vis, tritium, co-witness height night sights stock. There are small serrations on the front and rear sights to minimize glare, and the back is a square notch blacked out sight. The slide looks nice, has clean lines, and doesn't overdo the tactical cuts that so many people are guilty of now. Slide serrations are deep, grippy on the front and back, and works well with wet and dry hands and gloves. There's a small loaded chamber window on the top as well. The FNC nitride coating looks nice, and the branding is subtle with a smallish RXM logo and then maker marks. Well done on that. My gun is not your billboard. Instead of confusing the market with another proprietary optic cut, they went with a direct mount design that supports RMR, DPP, and RMSC out of the box. I was able to easily mount an RMR pattern optic, though I will say, these damn little pins are really easy to lose. I swear the industry just keeps putting out different optic cuts, which just confuses everyone. Pick one, assholes. Like 6 Hour popularized, this is a drop-in serialized FCI or fire control insert. And that's awesome because if you want a bigger frame, you can do that. To pop it out, you just remove a couple of pins and move the FCI into the new frame. Generally just a few minutes to change it. And this is probably not something you'll do every day, but just maybe you want to change things up, and you can without doing another background check. Several companies make metal and polymer frames so you can make the gun yours, and you know, with gun laws becoming more communist every day, it can be helpful for those that live in those states.
So what's the deal with blind dates? It's like going out with a broken pencil. You sit there, you're pressing down, you're trying to make an impression, and you get nothing. It's completely pointless.
Look, they can't all be gold. Drop a better joke in the comments. The trigger's decent with around a 3.5 pound trigger pull. It's got a flat face trigger with a trigger safety in the middle. There's some take up at the beginning of the trigger pull, but once it hits the wall, there's a very chunky break and no real sponginess to speak of. Not the best trigger in the world, but absolutely better than a stock Glock. I was able to shoot it as fast as I wanted. The gun is as accurate as I can shoot it, and you can see here that I was getting pretty decent sized groups. Now these targets are postcard sized, and I mean, we don't worry about those little guys. I shot it from contact distances out to 50 yards and didn't observe any undesired characteristics. It shot. Over a few range trips, I put around 800 rounds of various ammo through it and didn't have any failures in my notes. I used every single different kind of magazine that I have, and they all work just fine. It shoots like a compact pistol, not too snappy, and a very familiar recoil impulse. I have mine set up with a Gideon Optics Omega, which fits the RMR cut, and I've used a holster from C&G Holsters as well as a 3D printed version from AUXARC, AUXARC. How's the aftermarket, you may ask, if you're a damn nerd? Well, Urkel.
Did I do that?
The aftermarket's great. Like I mentioned, it's compatible with Gen 3 Glock parts, and that aftermarket is huge. It fits Glock holsters, and I didn't have any that I tested that didn't work. Sights, lights, and pretty much anything else. They have threaded barrel versions, compact, subcompact, gray, black, FDE, and green frames. Lots of options for us. How's the warranty, you may ask, if you're a lawyer?
I'm just kidding. If you're a lawyer, turn this shit off. Kind isn't welcome here.
Speaking of lawyers, there's no warranty. Yep. I've actually never seen this before, but in the owner's manual, I had to go look it up, it says that due to the Magnuson-Moss Act, the seller is not required to give a written warranty, and rather than attempt to comply with the act, they don't offer one. But they do state that they wish to assure us of their continued interest in providing service to owners of Ruger's firearms. So I guess, trust me bro, is their warranty. But I'm gonna cap that off by saying I've never heard anyone complain about Ruger not taking care of their customers. In fact, I've heard a ton of great things, so I would say buy it if you want it. So what's the value proposition, you may ask, if you're the kind of guy that picks up other people's brass at the range? Well, it's pretty good. I'm seeing these on the street for around $438 with a retail price of $539. The frames go for around $40 and Magpul magazines for $15. The gun comes with two 15-round Magpul magazines out of the box. All right, well, it's getting late and I gotta get her home, so let's break it down. The pros. It shoots well, easily controllable, and reliable. Honestly, the price is great. It's a budget option with big boy features, and there's a ton of stuff that you can buy to put on it immediately if you want to do that. And now the cons. The Magpul frame is blocky. It's not really unpleasing, but it is a little featureless. It looks mid, but performs great. And it's not envy. Look, I hate lefties too, but they exist. There's nothing we can do about that unless there was some kind of solution, like a fine. So where does the Ruger RXM land? Well, if you shop for guns based on Instagram clout, you're probably gonna walk right by this one at the gun store. However, if you're tired of spending extra money to fix the shortcomings of the industry standard, you should pay attention to this gun. It's a real sleeper. I guess my blind date wasn't so bad after all. I think we're gonna go out again, hoping to get lucky. And if you wanna see me review a gun that's the exact opposite of a boring first date, go check this out.
Dangerous freedom in your feet, yeah, your boy Sean's back. I don't flex for the gram, I just speak what I know. From the state to the range, from the case to the show.